It started on a Friday night, one unfortunate weekend during the semester. I was sleeping in my dorm room alone. My roommate had gone out for the weekend and wouldn't be back until Sunday, when I suddenly woke up. Half asleep, I laid in bed trying to figure out what had woken me, until I realized I was thirsty. I stood up, grabbed a cup, and made my way to the door. Right beside my room was the floor's water fountain, so I planned to make my way outside, quickly grab some water, and head back into my room. I was tired and wanted to get back to bed as quickly as possible, so I didn't spend any time searching for anything other than that cup. Not my face mask or my dorm keys. I knew they were somewhere in the room, but looking for them would be a hassle that I didn't want to bother with. While I walked out, I pulled out a trash can and used it as a doorstop so my door would stay open before I moved to the fountain. It wasn't until I was in the middle of filling my cup when I heard the door slowly begin to shut. The trash can, the only thing keeping the door from locking, had fallen over shortly after I walked out. From the fountain, I can only look as the door slid shut, ending with a loud click. As hard as I pulled on the handle, the door wouldn't budge. In the span of 10 seconds, I had locked myself out of my room. I immediately started to think of a way to get back in. The obvious solution was to call campus security, as they had a spare key for every room in the building. However, I hadn't grabbed my phone when I left, so that would require me waking up our RA and asking to borrow hers. I felt bad enough that I was in this situation, but I didn't want to involve anybody else. It seemed mean to wake up someone in the middle of the night just because I couldn't be bothered to grab my door keys. Instead, I paced the hall for 30 minutes trying to think of an alternative plan before I stopped in front of the trash room. I opened up the door and saw some trash, an old pizza box, and a paper takeout bag. But immediately, I had a plan. Grabbing some supplies from the common area, I grabbed the trash and went to work. Soon, I made a hook, and I had a plan. The plan was simple. I'd slide the flattened hook under my door until it was inside the room. Afterwards, using a piece of paper I'd stapled to the pizza box, I flipped the hook until it was upright and I could reach the door. From there, all I needed to do was hook the handle from the inside and I could open it. With the hook in hand, I went back to my door and slid it underneath. I felt really smart coming up with this plan. It could be something I bragged about to my roommate when she got back. How I got myself locked out of our room, and only with a pile of trash and sheer will, I found a way back inside. I thought I was a genius. I was not. After struggling to get the handle up for another half hour, another girl emerged from her room across the hall. As she made her way to the bathroom, she ran into me, lying down on the floor, furiously moving my hands underneath the doorway. She came over and asked if I needed help, and at that point, I realized my plan was pretty stupid. I asked to borrow her phone, and in 10 minutes, campus security was over and unlocking my door. As I laid back in bed, I thought to myself how much easier this all would have been if I had just woken someone up like I originally planned. Honestly, my RA probably wouldn't have been bothered to lend me her phone. This definitely wasn't the first time someone had locked themselves out in the middle of the night. Even though asking for help is really hard, especially when you've made a mistake, it's usually the best way to fix your problem. That night serves as a reminder to me that if you really need help, there's no shame in asking for it.